Can you believe my parents skipped my college graduation, a once-in-a-lifetime event, for a Super Bowl party? Not just any party, but their asterisk annual party, an event they could have easily delegated or adjusted. I still remember the sting, the utter disbelief, watching all my friends celebrate with their beaming families while I stood there, a cap and gown feeling like a costume of loneliness, scrolling through their excited texts about chili and commercials. Was I wrong for cutting them out of my life completely after that? Tell me, would you have done the same thing? It all started so subtly, like a slow-burning fuse that I, in my naive optimism, kept trying to extinguish. Growing up, my parents, Mark and Susan, they were asterisk them. Always the life of the party, always hosting, always making sure their friends were having a good time. And I, their only child, often felt like an accessory, a charming prop to complete their perfect suburban tableau. Holidays, birthdays, school events, everything revolved around their social calendar. If it didn't fit, it was squeezed in, often awkwardly or more frequently overlooked. I remember my fifth-grade play, where I had a surprisingly large role for a kid my age. I was so excited, practicing my lines endlessly. My mom showed up 15 minutes late, bustling in with an air of mild annoyance, and my dad was nowhere to be seen. He was stuck at work, a common refrain. Later, I overheard him complaining to my mom about having to miss his weekly golf game for some kid's stuff. Even then, a tiny seed of doubt about my importance in their lives began to sprout. As I got older, these instances multiplied. My soccer games were often missed because they had important dinner plans. My high school debate competitions, where I consistently excelled, were met with a perfunctory good job if they remembered to ask at all. It wasn't malicious, not overtly. It was more like a constant, low-level dismissal, an unspoken understanding that their desires, their social life, their comfort always took precedence. I learned to minimize my expectations, to celebrate my small victories internally, or with friends who often became more like family than my actual blood relatives. My best friend, Sarah, and her family, the Millers, became my refuge. Mrs. Miller would bake my favorite cookies after a tough test. Mr. Miller would drive me to my early morning practices, and their daughters, Sarah and Emily, were the sisters I never had. They celebrated my successes as if they were their own, and offered comfort during my disappointments with genuine empathy. They were what a family asterisk should asterisk be, and their warmth only highlighted the chill emanating from my own home. College was my escape, my chance to finally prove myself on my own terms. I worked incredibly hard, juggling classes, a part-time job to cover my expenses, and internships that often demanded long, grueling hours. I was determined to make my parents proud, to give them a reason to finally, truly be invested in my achievements. I called them regularly, sharing updates on my grades, my projects, my dreams for the future. Their responses were always a lukewarm, "That's nice, honey," or "Don't work too hard, you'll burn out," quickly followed by stories about their latest renovation project or the drama from their golf league. They never visited, citing the long drive, despite it being a mere 4 hours. Other parents made the trip, even from further away, for parents' weekends, football games, anything. Mine didn't. I'd watch the campus fill with proud families on visiting weekends, a lump forming in my throat as I pretended to be too busy studying. Sarah, who went to a different university, would call, excitedly telling me about her parents' latest visit, and I'd just nod and offer platitudes, the emptiness inside me growing. Then came my senior year, the light at the end of the tunnel. I was graduating with honors, a job offer already secured in a competitive field, and a feeling of immense accomplishment. This was it. This was the moment they would finally see me, truly see me, and be proud. I called them, almost bursting with excitement, to tell them the graduation date. My mom sounded distracted. "Oh, that's wonderful, dear. What date is that again?" I told her. There was a pause, a long, agonizing pause. Then, in a voice that was too cheerful, too forced, she said, "Oh, honey, that's Super Bowl Sunday." My heart sank. I felt a cold dread spread through my chest. "But Mom, it's my asterisk graduation. It's only once," I pleaded, trying to keep the desperation out of my voice. "Can't you maybe just come for the ceremony and then go back for the party? Or scale down the party this year?" She chuckled, a dismissive sound. "Darling, you know how much Mark looks forward to his Super Bowl party. It's a tradition. All our friends expect it. We can't just cancel it. And besides," she added, as if it were a valid point. You'll be so busy with your friends, you probably won't even notice if we're there or not. That was it. That was the conversation that broke something inside me. They were choosing a party, a televised football game, and the expectations of their friends over my lifelong dream, my culmination of years of hard work. I didn't argue further. What was the point? I hung up, tears streaming down my face. I called Sarah, who listened patiently, her anger mirroring my own. They are unbelievable, she fumed. You deserve so much better. She was right. I did. That night, lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, a decision solidified in my mind. A quiet, resolute decision that felt both terrifying and liberating. The graduation day arrived, bright and sunny, a cruel contrast to the storm raging within me. My friends' families were everywhere, cameras flashing, hugs exchanged, laughter echoing. I saw Sarah waving from the stands, her whole family there to celebrate my achievement, even though their own daughter was graduating from another school. They were my asterisk family that day. They cheered the loudest when my name was called, and Mrs. Miller even cried, dabbing her eyes with a tissue. After the ceremony, we went out for a celebratory dinner, and I felt a profound sense of gratitude for them, mingled with a deep, aching void where my own parents should have been. I tried to push down the hurt, the feeling of being discarded, but it was a heavy weight. I knew what I had to do. So that's the situation I was in, and I had to make a choice. Before I tell you what happened next, I want you to pause and comment below what you would have done in my shoes. Would you have confronted them, forgiven them, or done what I did? That night after the celebration with the Millers, I went back to my apartment. I pulled out a small, worn photo album. Pictures of my childhood, of my parents smiling, holding me when I was a baby. I stared at them, trying to find the love, the connection that I felt had always been missing, but all I saw was a forced smile, an obligation. I realized then that I had spent my entire life trying to earn their love, their approval, their attention, and it was never enough. It was never going to be enough. They weren't capable of giving me what I needed because they were too wrapped up in their own world, their own priorities. I couldn't change them. I could only change how I reacted to them. The next morning, I made a few phone calls. First, to a travel agent. I booked a one-way ticket to Ireland. I'd always dreamed of living abroad, of exploring ancient castles and emerald green landscapes. It was impulsive, yes, but it felt right. A clean break. Then I called my new employer. I explained that I needed to defer my start date for a few months. They were understanding, surprisingly so, given my excellent performance during my internship. It seemed the universe was conspiring to help me. My next call was the hardest. I called my parents. My mom answered, her voice still brimming with the afterglow of her Super Bowl party. "Oh, darling, how was your little ceremony? Did you have fun with your friends?" Her casual tone, her complete lack of remorse or even acknowledgement of their absence sealed my resolve. I took a deep breath. "Mom," I said, my voice steady, "I've decided to move to Ireland. I'm leaving next week." There was a stunned silence on the other end. Ireland. "What are you talking about? Your job, your apartment, what about us?" The sudden concern in her voice was almost comical. "What about you?" I asked, my voice cracking slightly despite my efforts to remain calm. "You didn't think about me when you chose a football game over my graduation. You didn't think about me when you missed every important event in my life. You've never thought about me, not really." Her voice rose, becoming defensive. "That's not fair. We love you. We provided for you." "We gave you everything." I cut her off. "You gave me a roof over my head and food on the table, yes, but you never gave me your presence. You never gave me your time. And that, Mom, is something money can't buy." I heard my dad's voice in the background, muffled at first, then clearer. "What's going on, Susan? Who are you yelling at?" He took the phone. "What's this about Ireland, kid? Are you crazy? You have a good job here." "Dad," I said, my voice now completely devoid of emotion, "I'm tired of being an afterthought. I'm tired of competing with your Super Bowl parties and your golf games. I'm going to live my life for myself for once." He started to bluster, to try and guilt-trip me, but I didn't let him. "This isn't a discussion, Dad. This is me telling you my decision. I'm leaving, and I don't know when or if I'll be back." I hung up before he could respond, my hand trembling. The next week was a whirlwind. I packed only the essentials, sold most of my belongings, and tied up loose ends. Sarah and the Millers were incredibly supportive. They threw me a small farewell dinner, a true family send-off filled with warmth and love. Mrs. Miller pressed a small, intricately carved Celtic knot into my hand, a symbol of eternal connection. "Wherever you go, you'll always have a family here," she whispered, her eyes shining with tears. Stepping onto that plane, a one-way ticket clutched in my hand, felt like shedding a heavy cloak. I landed in Dublin, a new world unfurling before me. I found a small apartment, a part-time job, and immersed myself in the culture. I explored ancient ruins, hiked breathtaking coastal paths, and learned to play the tin whistle in a cozy pub. I met incredible people, made new friends, and slowly, painstakingly healed. I started painting again, a passion I had long abandoned in the pursuit of their approval. My creativity blossomed in the freedom, unburdened by the constant need to perform. My parents tried to contact me at first. Texts, emails, even a few voicemails ranging from angry accusations to tearful pleas. I didn't respond. I needed space. I needed to break free from the cycle of disappointment and neglect. After a few months, their attempts dwindled and eventually stopped altogether. The silence, initially unnerving, became a quiet balm. I still received birthday cards, always with a generic message and a check, but they felt like hollow gestures now. The one-way ticket wasn't just a physical journey. It was a psychological one, a complete severing of ties that were more damaging than supportive. Years have passed since then. I eventually moved back to the States, but not to my hometown. I chose a different city, one where I could truly build a life for myself, free from their shadow. I thrive in my career, pursue my passions, and have cultivated a wonderful circle of friends, including Sarah and the Millers, who remain my chosen family. I occasionally hear news about my parents through distant relatives, snippets about their lives, their parties, their unchanging world. They still host their Super Bowl party every year, I'm told. I sometimes wonder if they ever truly regret their choice, if they ever look at an empty chair and remember the daughter they pushed away. I doubt it. I've learned that sometimes, the most loving thing you can do for yourself is to walk away from people who continuously hurt you, even if those people are your own parents. My one-way ticket to Ireland changed my life forever, not just because of the adventure, but because it gave me the courage to choose myself, to build a life where I am cherished and seen. And that, I've realized, is a far greater prize than any parental approval could ever be. Like this video if you were on my side, if you've ever had to make a similar difficult choice for your own well-being. Subscribe for more stories like this, where real people share their raw, unedited experiences. And please, share your final thoughts on this whole mess in the comments section below. I'll see you all in the next story.